is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis coming to y'all with a quick video. I wanted to let you guys know I got some new merchandise available, not just t-shirt anymore. I got different type of t-shirt, different type of shirts and logos that you can purchase on my spread shirt, and also hoodies now. We have expanded and added more to the channel and more merchandise for the brand. Thanks for supporting. It will be in the description and the links will be in the comment section below. Thanks for helping me and supporting the movement. Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis. I'm going. What is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis coming to y'all with a quick video. Today we're going to talk about Clint Capela of the Houston Rockets being in trade rumors and what I think about Clint Capela and do I think he should be traded and what teams he can possibly go to. When you look at Clint Capela, he's one of the better young centers in the NBA. That's why he got paid. He was a guy that came up under Dwight Howard. For people that forget, Dwight Howard was an all-star caliber player and one of the top 10 players in the NBA until he started having back problems and the knee problems. Even though he was an all-star when he was in Houston, the Rockets really didn't know what they was going to do with him after a couple years being in Houston because he ended up signing a 4-year deal and he stayed all 4 years in Houston. And once it was time for Howard to go, he was still a solid defender, still a great rebounder, but was he really worth the money? Well, you can get Clint Capela to take his position for less money because he was on a good contract, so good because it was a rookie contract. That the simple fact of, trying to pay Dwight Howard over $100 million when you got a guy that can possibly do the same thing for less money. And Clint Capela, even though he got an extension, it still wasn't the amount of money that Dwight Howard got. So he was still somewhat of a guy that had a high ceiling just because he was just so young and he was still developing as a rim protector, as a rebounder, and as a finisher. And now we look back years later when Clint Capela has become a starter and they're anchored defensively, and now he's a guy that fits perfectly with James Harden and now Russell Westbrook and even then Chris Paul. And now it's kind of crazy that it didn't work out the way they wanted it to, but they did become the #1 team in the West. They did take the Warriors to 6 games and 7 games in the Western Conference. But one of the main reasons why Clint Capela is on the trade block is not because he's disappointed. It's not because he's trash. It's just because they can't trade Eric Gordon because of the extension. They really have no great pieces that they can really trade for something significant because all their guys are on cheap deals or they're veterans that don't have a lot of value to get something back that can really contribute to winning. And that's the main reason why they're still in Houston. A lot of these guys are okay to just skill set players as a 3-point shooter. And a lot of the guys that they have on Houston is not really even 3-and-D guys anymore. A lot of these guys are not great defenders. A lot of these guys ain't great finishers. They're just great pieces around Russell and Harden to give them the floor spacing that they need to get to the basket and be able to get to their shots, because you still have to respect these guys because a lot of these guys can shoot the 3. But other than that, this Houston team has had, paying Russell the money that they're paying him, paying Harden the money that they paying him. They have really put themselves in a tough position to where they can't really improve the roster the way they will want to. And Clint Capela is a perfect fit for this team, and he's giving you 13 and 13, and he still is very, very young. Plus, he has changed his game a little bit, being able to hit little floaters, being able to set screens better, allowing Harden to get that space and allowing Harden to get the first step on certain defenders and make his job a lot easier. Clint Capela, you never hear him really complaining. You never really hear him being unprofessional. He's a guy that has been a professional and has been one of the key contributors to this Houston Rockets team. And when I think about the Rockets, I do think about Capela because he's been there just that long. And the fact that he's already in trade rumors just show you that Daryl Morey is under that pressure to win that title. You have Harden, and now he's in his 30s. Russell's in his 30s, and it's getting to the point where right now the Houston Rockets don't even look like championship contenders. They don't look like one of the best teams in the West. They just look like a good team right now that can be out in the first or second round, which is disappointing because that's not what we look at the Rockets as. Harden has become a 30-point scorer and one of the most unstoppable players we have seen in the NBA history. He hasn't been able to get this team to the finals, and this is looking like one of their worst seasons, and nobody is really going crazy or really thinking the Rockets are a threat. Even though they got two former 30-point MVPs, they haven't really meshed the way we would thought they haven't meshed the way we thought they would mesh. They haven't played off each other as well as we thought. Russell Westbrook is really starting to go. Harden is starting to figure it back out. And even though they hitting their pinnacle number wise, it hasn't translated into wins. Neither of these two guys really lead defensively. They're giving up shots. They're not trying to contest shots. They concede baskets if they get beat off the dribble. They put no effort to go for the steal. They put no effort to try to block it. And that leadership trickles down to the whole team. You know what I'm saying? If you're not playing defense, if you're not doing your job, you're you can't be a role model, you can't be a leader to everybody else around you. They have to hold everybody accountable. And if you're not doing your part, it's hard to get on everybody else when you're the best player on the team and you're not even playing defense, and neither is Russ. And the fact that they really are situational players that they really do nothing. The only person that can really do something offensively is probably Austin Rivers, who can knock down a three, break down a defense, and get to the paint and finish, or even, hit some mid ranges. And other than that, like I said, Eric Gordon has been a spectacular pickup for them, and he has fit James Harden very well, and he does play off Westbrook well because he can shoot very deep. Plus, he's a guy that can shoot a regular shot. Plus, he can get to the basket and finish, and he still has been a decent find for them, but he is unavailable to be traded this year. So Clint Capela is the odd man out, the guy that's young, the guy that has potential, a guy that can really be a missing piece to a lot of teams. But when you look at the NBA, it's not too many teams that need a center, and it's not too many teams that has the cap space to absorb Clint Capela contract. And that's going to be the toughest part about trading him is who has the assets and who is willing to give up their core pieces to make a trade for a guy like Capela that may not make them a championship contender. It may not be the move that takes them over the top, but you're paying a guy this type of money to be on your roster. So it's very tough right now. That's why you don't see a lot of trades. We've seen a lot of rumors from a lot of players and nothing has got done with majority of all these players that's in the rumors just because nobody really has the salary to really match a lot of these guys' contract, and nobody really has aspiring contracts that can really total the value that you will get back. And like I said, Houston is not a team that, okay, we got Clint Capela, let's trade him for an aspiring contract. It don't work like that because they're a championship contender and people head, or that's what they're supposed to be. You're not just going to trade Clint Capela for a guy that you can waive. You're not going to trade Clint Capela for a guy that's going to be a free agent this contract because you still need value for Capela to make your team better. If a guy can't make your team better this year or next year while you still have Russell and Harden, it's really no point of trading Capela because if he's better than any piece that you're trading or he's the best player in the trade, you're going backwards when it comes to James Harden and Russ and the Rockets just because you're supposed to be trying to put the best roster out there to win a title around this duo, and trading Clint Capela for aspiring definitely won't do that. It will make you worse. And now you look at this team, and there's not really that many options that they can really do. And it's not that one guy out there that they really need to fit this team that can really, benefit Russ and Harden and Mike D'Antoni. So the Houston Rockets is in a situation. They really are. And, the fact that they're desperate enough to get one of their core pieces away just so that they can hopefully can get a piece back that can either equal him or give them something else, they're stuck. And the sad part about it is they're stuck in the middle. They're not really good enough to win the title, and they're not terrible enough to win to be a draft lottery team. So how can they get better? That's going to be the question. And what can they get for Capela? All the trades and the rumors that I seen, none of those trades will really fix what they have lost out of Capela, or Capela is better than all the players and a better fit than what they're out there trying to trade for, which means they might be holding on to Capela by the end of the trade deadline, or they might find a piece that nobody sees coming for Clint Capela. But other than that, it looks to me like whether they trade Capela or not, they're going to be stuck in the middle as an okay to good team and be out in, like I said before, the Western Conference Finals. And if that's the case, that's a disappointment just because people thought Russell Westbrook was an upgrade over Chris Paul because of his athleticism, because the fact that he had averaged a triple-double for the last 3 seasons, and because he was best friends with James Harden for a long time. But this has been a mediocre to disappointing season so far for the Rockets, and there's really no way out of mediocrity, even if you trade Capela, which is unfortunate. But let me know what you guys think. Should the Houston Rockets trade Clint Capela? Who's a guy that they should be looking at? Who can really fix this team? Remember, I read every comment. Thanks for liking the video in advance. I appreciate it. Thanks for watching the video, even if you didn't enjoy it. And at the end of the day, thanks for buying merchandise. Thanks for liking on my Facebook page. And thanks for the support. I love you guys. I'm still going and I'm enjoying it. And you guys still eating up every video that I put out. But I got to keep it real with y'all, as I always do in my videos. Clint Capela being traded is not the answer, and it will not make the Houston Rockets better unless they have somebody, like I said, that we don't really see on the market, or they're trading for a guy that we don't see the rumors. But for what I done seen, they're stuck in the middle.